If you have a diagnosed meniscus tear in the knee, you'll probably be eager to get back to normal everyday activities without any pain. So in this video, I'll provide you with 5 strength exercises to build your knee stability. Hi everyone, and welcome to Exercise for Health. And 3 years ago, I did a video on some gentle rehab exercises and stretches for a meniscus tear that help with the initial stages of recovery in the first 6 weeks after injury. However, in this video, I'm going to provide some second stage strength exercises to help you get back to full physical functioning for everyday activities and even your chosen sport. If you haven't started any exercises since your diagnosis, then I suggest watching my previous video first, which also goes into more detail on meniscus tears, and I'll leave a link in the description below and on the pop-out banner. But this one will be more challenging for the muscles to effectively progress the strength and stability of the knees to give you more confidence in its movement under load. The following exercises shown should be done on ideally 3 days of the week with a day's rest between each session and continue for 8 to 12 weeks. Each exercise should comprise of 2 sets of 10 to 15 repetitions with a short rest between each set. All 5 exercises should therefore take you about 15 to 20 minutes to complete, depending on the volume you choose for each one, and they shouldn't increase your knee pain. But if any do, then just avoid it for a while as your knee may not be ready for it yet, and then come back to it at a later date after your strength has improved. The first exercise is the B stance squat, which progresses the standard squat by placing more emphasis on the front leg to really work into the quadriceps muscles that provide stability for the knee. Essentially, you place the non-affected side foot behind you on the ball of the foot so that the majority of your body weight is on your front leg. You then squat as low as you can without any increase in knee pain, ensuring that the front knee stays in alignment with the front foot and doesn't collapse inwards. Push through the front foot with the support of the back foot to bring you back up to standing. If your quads are strong and you don't experience muscle fatigue between 10 and 15 reps, then you may need to hold a weight close to your chest to make the exercise more challenging. The second exercise is the lateral step up, which will force you to activate the muscles around the hip of the leg that you're working to control any unwanted movement in the knee whilst really working the quads around the front of the knee. With your affected side foot on the step and your other leg dangling on the side of the step, hinge at the hip first, then lower slowly by bending at the knee until the heel of the opposite foot makes light contact with the floor. Drive through the foot to reverse the motion and bring you back up to an upright position. It's important that the height of the step is sufficient to challenge the muscles when your other foot contacts the floor, but not too high that you lose stability of the knee during the movement. As you progress, you can start from a higher level for an increased range of movement, or alternatively, hold a weight in your hand for increased intensity. The third exercise is the Romanian deadlift, or RDL, to target the glutes, but doing it as a single leg version with a kickstand. This means having one foot placed behind the foot of the leg that you want to work, but with minimal contact through the toes, so most of your weight is over your support foot. Maintaining a slight knee bend, hinge at the hips, pushing them backwards until you feel a slight stretch in your hamstrings on the back of the leg as your torso comes forwards. Hold here for a second, then drive your hips forwards, bringing the body upright before starting again. Be careful not to allow the knee to collapse inwards during the descent, so imagine trying to twist the knee outwards even though it won't move much as the foot is fixed. And this will help to activate the glutes around the outside of the hip. In addition, maintain a neutral spine, meaning it doesn't bend forwards during the movement. And as you progress, you can modify this single leg RDL without the use of the kickstand, and even hold a weight for added intensity. The fourth exercise is a lying leg curl using a gym ball to work the hamstrings around the back of the knee. Start on your back with your arms at your sides and your legs straight with the gym ball under your calf muscles, and think about squashing the ball with the heels, and this will raise the hips up slightly. Then draw the ball towards your bottom, bending the knees and at the same time raising the hips higher if you can. Once you have the ball as close to you as you feel possible, Control the straightening of the legs and lowering of the hips until your body is in a straight line again before bending the knees for the next rep. As you progress with this exercise, you may get to a point where you can focus more intensity on your affected side leg by placing the other leg on top of it and eventually using the one leg on its own. If you don't have access to a gym ball, an alternative is to place your heels on the side of an armchair with the knees bent at around 90 degrees and then try and raise your hips up as high as you can. Although this will be more of a hip movement rather than a knee movement, it will still target the same muscles. The final exercise is the half squat heel raise to work the calf muscles and isometrically hit the quads for added knee stability. A bit of an obscure one, this can be challenging to get the technique right. However, you begin in a half squat, pushing the hips backwards and bending the knees a bit, kind of like being in a skiing position. You then hold this whilst raising the heels of your feet up and down slowly. You may feel your quads above the front of the knee fatigue before the calf muscles in the back of the lower leg, but to progress, you can place more emphasis on one side by moving one foot further back to keep more weight on the front foot. Alternatively, you could hold a hand weight for increased intensity. As in some of the previous exercises, it's important that your knees stay in alignment with the foot, so look down and you should see your knees directly over your toes so they stay the same width. I hope you find these 5 exercises reduce your knee pain in the long term and help provide added strength and stability to build your confidence in your knee's ability to carry out everyday tasks. If so, please give this video a like by clicking the thumbs up button below and consider subscribing if you haven't already. I will add this video to our knee playlist, which I'll leave a link to in the description below. But thank you so much for watching, and until next time, stay active and keep moving to feel better.
Hey.